This is the Detroit Sports Podcast Network.
Thanks, everybody, for downloading the latest edition of Check the Report. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. Man, it's a great time in the world of digital sports, especially here in Detroit. Oh, man, I'm always checking Twitter, checking everything going on in the world of the Detroit sports scene. And a hot new digital sports company has emerged, and they're going to make a lot of noise. They're going to do great things. You're going to want to check out the Woodward Sports Network. They're doing great things. And joining me today is Stick and Joey Namou of the Morning Wood Show. And I'm looking forward to the conversation, looking forward to learning about these guys. These guys trying to put me out of business. But I think it's great to have the opportunity to learn something new about those that are doing things in sports. I absolutely love the fact that they took a chance on themselves and they want to get into the world of Detroit sports. Joey, Stick, what's going on?
Hey, man, how you doing? John, just know that we're big fans of the Detroit Sports Podcast, first and most importantly.
Absolutely. I know you guys are going to do great things. Tell me a little bit about how this project got started. How did the Woodward Sports Network come to be?
So, obviously, my past was in radio. So, I was with Mojo in the morning, and then all of a sudden, I get a phone call from my brother, Stick. And Stick, I'm going to pass it over to him because he was actually the lead to starting this, and it was all his idea. And I love his story of how he shares that he launched this. Because, yes, we are partners, but Stick is the actual founder. So I want him to explain, exactly how it started because it's just such a genuine Detroit story.
So, obviously, Joey and I have known each other from working at local radio stations in the market. And I went to Grand Rapids to run my own radio station. I came back to Detroit and I was doing marketing and not really enjoying my life, not being able to have a platform. Like I'm assuming that's why you started your podcast. It's just something that's in you, And last July, my best friend passed away in a car accident, and she had always been pushing me to do sports, always do sports. Like, you're so good at sports. Get out of the top 40, get out of hosting clubs, talk about sports. And, after she passed away, I was sitting there. I really wasn't enjoying my job. And I just decided, you know what? I need to put something out. I don't know, something in me pushed me to do it. I'm assuming it was her passing away that just kicked me in my ass. And I bought the website Woodward Sports, which was surprisingly available. And it's all been snowballing since then, man. It's all just everything has fallen into place perfectly. And Joey and I always thank Tracy above for pulling all these strings for us.
Absolutely. And I think the thing that is really interesting is that you guys come from a world of radio where you built up an audience, you were part of something, and then you said, you know what, I'm not exactly happy with what's going on. I just feel like there's something more out there. And there's something to it where you take ownership of something and you want to build it from the ground up. And I think that, you guys taking this leap of faith, because sometimes it is easier to take the safer road. And now you guys have taken the leap of faith, have started something in a tough situation too, because there are a lot of other outlets out there. But I think that anytime a person takes a chance on themselves and they're passionate about something, that's great. So tell me how you guys got into sports. You local guys, you guys always been a fan of Detroit sports. Take us through where your guys' love of sports came from.
So we've always been here in Detroit. That's one thing that Stick and I are always so proud of, is that we are Detroiters. And thankfully, I got to spend my entire career in Detroit. And I know Stick did for a majority of it, but he made those moves. And I'll let him talk more about how he made those moves. And then some piece of him still didn't feel like it was right and that he had to come back home to Detroit. But for me, sports has always been a huge passion of mine. And it's obviously been something that we haven't been the most successful for in my lifetime. So then we look at it as, what better timing to actually start this Woodward Sports Network than when we're in the trenches with all the Detroit sports fans, when we need to be in this rebuild together. And that's just been the best part about this, because right now at this moment, it's been about a month of us not even actually being on the air doing our morning Woodward show. But just all the changes since we've been a part of it has been unreal. Shout out to whoever that is in the background. But it's just been unreal, like you see everything happening with the Pistons and Troy Weaver and everything that he's been doing with the organization. And then you see the moves that the Lions just made, getting rid of Quintricia, and now really feeling this rebuild. We couldn't be more proud of being a part of this at this time.
Yeah. And, just kind of piggybacking off of Joey, like my whole sports love started, I can't remember a time when I didn't love sports. Like all the pictures I have from when I was 3, 4, 5 years old are me in those gray Tiger jerseys with the orange writing across the front. And, Little League, I peaked in Little League. Like my 12-year-old year was the best sporting year of my entire life. We won a Little League championship. We were undefeated in football and undefeated in basketball. It was the greatest year of my sports life. But, not all of us make it to the next level. And you still love the sport that you were playing growing up. I was a 3 to 4 sport athlete growing up, and it's just been ingrained in my life. And sports just teaches you so many life lessons that you can take into the real world about getting knocked down, getting back up, how to build a team, how teamwork, helps everybody succeed. Like, cause I've played on championship teams where we're all boys and hanging out. And I played on shitty teams where, we play our game and then we leave and we don't talk to each other.
What he's saying, John, is he's referring to the time that Stick and I were on a rec league team and we went 0-8. That's what he's talking about.
Oh my gosh, that's funny because I had 1 year experience of Little League and I went 1-15. I was 9 years old. I thought I liked baseball. I was a big baseball guy growing up, like you guys said, hanging out at Tiger Stadium back in 1986, 87. And I played Little League. I was 9 years old. And, lo and behold, you're excited. And I was on a shit team as well. We went 1-15. And you guys probably had a better experience because my one win, the team forgot to show up. It was a forfeit. Exactly. So in my Little League career, I never tasted what it felt like to win. And so you understand that we all have a love of sports. And I think that the best part about sports is that you can just sit down at any bar with anybody and talk sports and feel a sense of community. And that's what I've been loving about the podcast is we can sit and talk and relate at that level because we all want the teams here in Detroit to do well. And like you guys said, it's been a struggle. And so I think the bonding that's been taking place lately with the sports community in Detroit has been how awful it's been with all the teams. But I think you guys, like you said, came at the right time in that a lot of the teams are going through a rebuild, a rebirth. So it's a great time to be getting into sports. Absolutely.
Yeah, and we're all in this together as Detroit sports fans. And, when you hear local media constantly bashing your team and you're turning on the radio and hearing the same opinion over and over and over again, it's like, come on, guys, like we're fans, and fan is short for fanatic. So like I'm rooting for my team. And even if they're 0-15, I want them to win that last game so they can go 1-15,
Yeah, absolutely. There's always hope.
Not by forfeit.
Not by forfeit. There's always hope in something new. And I think it's great, too, that, the Lions, the team that everybody really is behind, made the big decision. And they're in a rebuild. The Pistons and Troy Weaver, the Red Wings and Steve Yzerman, and now the Tigers with A.J. Hinch. It's something in the air. The next couple years are going to be the hotbed. And you guys know Detroit is absolutely one of the best places to cover sports, especially with the pro teams and the college teams.
Oh, it's one of the greatest sports cities in the world, man. I told this story on air the other day. My dad's from New Mexico, and he didn't get a chance to see a professional sporting event until he was like 25 when he moved to Detroit. And he always told me growing up, like, we're so lucky to have all 4 major sports here. Because even some cities that have a major team, they don't have all 4 like we do.
Yeah, absolutely. There's so much to get into. So I'm definitely curious. So you guys are in a position where you're working and you're thinking about, okay, we want to do something maybe for ourselves, maybe to branch out into something a little bit more. From that moment, take us through a couple steps that got you from that point until launching Woodward Sports.
Well, after I bought the website, I called our there's 4 partners to this. There's me, there's Joey, there's our friend named Adam, who you'll see on the morning show as well. And then there's Chad Johnson from Lady Jane's, who owns all the Lady Jane's nationally. After I bought the website, I called Adam and I told him what I wanted to do. It was just going to be a basic podcast website with a lot of articles, so Google will push up our website and we'll be relevant. And I came to Chad Johnson, who had this beautiful studio on Woodward, already built. They didn't really utilize it at all. And I didn't want to do this from my basement. And I wanted to make this a legit thing because, as you know, there's a lot of podcasts in the city right now. And everybody, you can get the listeners, but can you take it to that next level? And that's really what this network is about, helping everybody get to that next level of not just a basement podcast, but we want the Pistons talking to us. We want the Red Wings talking to us. We want to live stream pre-games and post-games and half-times and really just evolve it from there. So when I presented the idea to Chad Johnson, he was all in, and he said he wanted a 3-year commitment out of us. So we know we have some time to get this thing off the ground, and we're really just grinding away every single day. And when Joey hopped on board, it really just accelerated everything that we could do because, I call Joey the mayor of Detroit. Everybody loves Joey.
Joey, same question to you. Did you just have a little bit of reservation at all about taking a leap of faith, or because of the passion that you guys had, it made it easy when they said, okay, we need 3 years, we want to do this? What made you take the leap of faith to join this network and do something on your own?
Yeah, so Stick's actually laughing in the background right now because there was a lot in our relationship and brotherhood, honestly, with Stick with us, because he called me when he was in that thought process of, hey, I'm thinking about doing this idea. And it was one of those, yeah, I love the idea, but it's like, I mean, how can I really fully take on this opportunity and leave my job? So it was going to probably be something where I would help him out here and there. But then he calls me back and he says, all right, dude, we legit got this full opportunity, tells me about Lady Jane's partnership with Chad Johnson. And then it ends up being like the real moment of, all right, well, we can do this for you. Obviously it's a startup, so we're going to need you to really just hop on board and grind it out with us and just sign a contract and see where we could go with this thing. And in my head, I was like, I love you, Stick. And this freaking sounds so amazing. And it's definitely something that I want to do. And let me think about it. So then I think about it, and then I go back to work, and then I hit up Stick and I'm like, all right, I'm in. And it was an amazing moment. Felt so great.
We cried together, man. We cried together.
like we really did. It was tears going back and forth, and like just the excitement I had when I was calling Stick on the phone that day saying, dude, I'm coming over. And then I just cold feet. and
I know if you were actually going to tell that part.
And this is the honest part to it is I come from Mojo in the morning. So it's like, I'm going to be fully blunt when I say this. I was with Mojo, and then I obviously in my head was like, all right, I'm taking this opportunity, and I just got the cold feet, and I ended up backing out. So I had to call Stick, and I literally called Stick a day later saying, hey, dude, I love you. And I just put thought to this. And I know that I told you earlier that I was in, and I gave you the verbal consent, but I don't think I'm ready to make this jump yet. And Stick was fully supportive, but it was just one of those things that I felt like I let a brother down,
Absolutely. It's okay to have that reservation, because that's the thing that makes it so fun when you take the leap of faith and you start to see what you guys are starting to build, is that you had something that was secure. You had something. That's what I love about those that take the chance. You've seen people that have worked in radio, worked on top radio shows, and they said, no, what's important is the ability to have control, the ability to have ownership. You guys have a great name. You guys have a great working relationship. What better way to do this than with people that you care about and that you can grow together, see the success together, and have a vision. And taking a leap of faith, whatever happens with it is great, because you took that chance, and now you guys are going to reap the rewards of the freedom of going, hey, if we want to do this, we'll do this. If we want to add a show in the midday, we'll do this. You guys are collaborating, you're creative, and anything that you do that you're passionate about, that's on your own and that you have a lot of say in, is absolutely great. And the blessing for you guys is you got support of somebody that said, hey, I'm just not going to try you out for a couple months. 3 years. That's amazing. That's everything you guys could ask for. And you guys are set up for success. And there's no doubt. I mean, you guys are already there in media sessions, asking questions. Corey's doing great stuff. The Morning Wood Show is hilarious. It's fun. It's raw. It's real. Look, I can, I'll be honest with you guys. I can, listen to whatever I want in the morning time. You guys catch people's attention because of the fact it's fun. You can tell the relationship is there. You three on there with Adam in there. I mean, the episode you guys had, the debate Stick and Adam had, was classic in regards to the stuff you guys are talking about. So you're earning listeners because it's good and it's quality because of the fact you guys know each other. So taking a leap of faith is great. And absolutely. I mean, look, Middle Eastern people, we're not exactly known for decisive decisions. We go back and forth a little bit. We got to talk to our family. We got to, get the respect of everybody and go, hey, you're going to do your own thing. Are you sure it's going to work? But hey, Joey, you did the right thing. I think what you see with Stick and what you see with that show, it's going to grow and it's only going to get better. So you made the right choice. You feeling that after a couple weeks?
Yeah, Joey had skin in the game still. We kind of had I know you asked him a question. Are you feeling good after a couple weeks? I'll let you answer that first. Are you feeling good after a couple weeks,
right.
Joey?
So, I definitely am. That's the crazy part about it. And it's one of those surreal moments to where, we're in here literally freaking rebuilding this entire studio. We're getting it ready for actual TV production. Like, this isn't just going to be some webcam like you've been seeing these last couple of shows, the last 15 shows. We're actually going to get this into TV quality. So we're trying to look like my boy Jay Towers at Fox 2 News.
Absolutely. Great stuff.
Yeah, and like I was saying, with Joey taking that risk, my situation and his situation are completely different. He walked away, like you said, for something that's very secure, very successful, and he could have rode that out for the next however long. So Joey actually had to leave something to come here. I was doing marketing. I was having fun with it, but it wasn't like my calling in life. So I wanted to just make that leap, and Joey actually had to make a tough decision, and I cannot be happier with the decision that he made. I mean, it's been such a blessing for us to be able to work together again after a 4-year hiatus. We weren't working together
4 years
because we were doing a night show before and just having a lot of fun, making a lot of noise, and now we get to do it all again, and we just do it in the morning on film.
Absolutely. I'm enjoying the conversation with Joey Namou and Stick from Woodward Sports. Make sure to follow them on Twitter at Woodward Sports. Check out the Morning Wood morning program. You can stream it live at woodwardsports.com. You can check it out on Facebook. Always good stuff there. So take me through that first episode. What was it like planning? What did you guys talk about? And that rush you felt of completing your first show under Woodward Sports?
So the planning, was there much planning to that, Stick?
There was some planning. The way our show prep goes is we just kind of put down every 15 minutes what topics we want to hit. And how we get there is kind of up in the air. So if you've watched the show, sometimes we'll make a hard left and talk about something that has nothing to do with anything, but then we get back on track.
We had a schedule on Wednesday, actually, of this week or was it Tuesday, where we had puppies just showing up to the studio
with Detroit Dog Rescue, and we had to throw the whole playbook out because as soon as the puppies came in here, Chrissy and Joey were just too distracted. But as far as the first show, man, first of all, the response was insane. We had 27,000 people watching the first show, which was crazy for us.
We were happy with 200 people.
Yeah. So we had a big showing the first show. It was, Joey and I had worked before, but we had never worked with Chrissy. So it was just a big feeling out process, and it was a big handshake show. We just wanted to explain who we were for people who didn't know, explain why we're here, and it got us off and running.
And especially for me, I was always like a sidekick on a show. I never had an actual co-host responsibility. So for me, I always knew that I had that connection with Stick, but then you throw Chrissy into the mix, and it was just crazy how it all worked out, especially for the first time of us doing a show. I mean, we did 2 actual little practice runs of what we would sound like, and just the dynamics and the flow that we had with each other has been so unbelievably amazing.
Yeah, we did 2 20-minute sessions just to play off each other and see how it would sound once the mics turned on. And we liked what we heard in those 20-minute sessions. And then we're just like, all right, let's do it. You dive in because that's all you can do.
Yeah. Now, I'm a purveyor of social media, so I'm seeing things on Instagram, seeing things on Twitter. Why was Stick out there on Woodward in his draws? What happened?
No, the bigger question is, why did you look at that post so many times over and over, John?
I appreciate the likes, man. I appreciate the likes.
On Instagram, John, you probably don't know this, but when you actually save a post on your end, it notifies us.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. I'm like I said, I love social media, and I'm universal, man. All love to everybody.
No, but that's actually how that happened goes back about 8 years between me and Joey. I went to Orchard Lake St. Mary's High School. Joey went to Birmingham Brother Rice, which are both in the Catholic League. We were rivals in high school. So every time our schools play each other, Joey and I make a little bet. And it's been everything. Like, I've been on stage in front of 1,500 people wearing a diaper because St. Mary's lost. I got to smack Joey across the face with a handful of whipped cream because Brother Rice lost. Like, this has just been part of our relationship, our almost going on a decade now, is when St. Mary's and Brother Rice plays, we make some stupid bet. Unfortunately, Brother Rice beat St. Mary's this year in the playoffs, and I was on Woodward naked.
Classic. I love it. That's the best part about sports, is making bets, having fun, and doing it with people that you care about. Now, the best part is with you guys is you're calling yourselves the Woodward Sports Network, and you're already going to grow. This Monday, debuting at 11 a.m., it's going to be Sean Belizean and Joik Bell, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. You're going to want to check it out. Sean Belizean, a staple in sports radio. Joik Bell, former Detroit Lion. It's a show that's going to be great. Corey Woods is going to be the producer. How did you guys get Sean Belizean and Joik Bell to come aboard to join Woodward Sports?
I mean, that's been part of the partnership with Chad Johnson is, for a long time, he's been a major advertiser for like the Tigers, for the Lions. And through that, he was able to make relationships with some of the players. And that's been a lot of what he's added to this whole process. So, we were throwing around ideas. All right, who do we want to put on 11 to 1? And Joey and I had some ideas. He's like, what if I could get you Joik Bell? We're like, well, yeah, okay. Like, we're trying to be a Detroit-based station network, so, like, why wouldn't we want a guy who started out as the Ford Field security guard and wound up putting touchdowns in the end zone? And then Sean Belizean, as you mentioned, is just a legend, and it turns out he's the nicest guy in the world, like the most humble guy in the world, and really how we got Sean is, a lot of us ex-radio people are victims of corporate mandates and corporate shove downs and not being able to fully be yourself. And the whole point of Woodward Sports is to bring the fun back into sports, man. Like, just to go nuts, to be like the wild kids that are tailgating and do the fun shit that we all used to do and we all love about sports. That was taken away from Sean from some of the bigger conglomerates. And we're just to say, hey, man, there's no rules here. The FCC doesn't check us. Like, we're online. Let's just go.
That's exactly right. I started this back in 2013 because of the fact I love sports. I loved, radio. I loved everything about radio when I was a kid. When it first started, sports radio came out and the ranting and the raving and all the personalities. And then obviously Mojo in the Morning and the funny bits and everything that would go on. I'm a consumer of radio. So to see it done this way where you can say and do whatever you want, it was obviously something I said, okay, I got a feeling people are going to like this, with the possibility of doing whatever you want, being able to cuss and emote and doing whatever that comes to your head. The internet provided such an outlet, and to see, and I thank you guys, because when folks like you take a chance and come from traditional radio to do this, it legitimizes even more the podcast game. And in the last decade, I had a vision. I had a feeling like this is something that's going to be big. And when you have the likes of Joe Rogan and people going into it on a huge scale, the bigger you guys get, the more it legitimizes digital broadcasting. And that's just the way it's going. Everybody said it. Everybody knew it. And for you guys to continue to legitimize it, like I said, all kudos and respect, because, you guys are going to do it great. And I think that, Sean and Joik are going to provide one hell of an experience right after you guys. It's going to be a good lineup, one nobody's going to want to miss.
Yeah, in the morning you'll get us. We're pretty much 60% sports, 40% fun, lifestyle, crazy shit, and then with them it's going to be the meat. They're going to hit you with all the stats, all the betting lines, all the fun, strictly sports stuff. So I really think it's a good marriage.
You're going to hear some stories from Joik probably about his NFL experiences, whereas us, you're going to hear stories about us.
Wall page, baby.
Little League football.
With our remaining couple minutes, I'm definitely curious. What was your guys' reaction when Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn were fired? Where were you? What do you guys think now? Because really, it's interesting, with conversations with supporters of the Lions, because of how passionate people are. You got those that are just like, whatever the Lions do is going to be wrong. You got those that are a little bit more moderate. They're going to take a wait-and-see approach. You got the Stafford debate. You got those that are looking at ownership and what they're going to do. That's why I exclusively signed with the company to cover the Lions exclusively, because that's the wildest group of people to support and engage and to cover sports with. And the majority of my questions online focus on the Lions. but I just think that it's a fascinating study in patience, in fan loyalty, in, dealing with heartbreak. What a fascinating organization the Detroit Lions are. And they finally, after, 2.5 seasons, moved on from head coach Matt Patricia, and after 5 years, Bob Quinn. Where are you guys at with the Lions, and where were you when you heard the news that Quinn Trisha's gone?
I cried. I'm a big fan of Patricia.
I'm sorry, Joey. Sorry, man.
No, but so it was. What day of the week was it? Saturday,
because Michigan was getting their ass whooped.
Yes. So Michigan was getting their ass whooped. And I remember that it was one of those that I was just about to take a nap, and we obviously all got our notifications on, and I was just about to doze off. And then I get the notification and I automatically just wake up like, oh, shit. And then I text it in our group chat. And then all of a sudden I go on Facebook and then Stick.
Yeah, so I found out from Joey's group chat I found out from. And I just went on our Facebook Live and I just started going nuts, man. It was like Christmas, my birthday, the first time I had sex, all rolled into one. And I was just going absolutely. I've been calling for this for so long. I hate the way that guy talked to his players. I hated the way he talked to the media. I hated his in-game management. I hated Bob Quinn in that whole stupid Patriot way. I just hated it all, and I was ready for it to end. And the minute it was gone, it was like when you got out of the worst relationship of your life, and it's just like, oh my God, I can breathe again. Like there was just darkness. There was a dark cloud over the Lions.
Yeah, it's absolutely. And now there's an opportunity for something new. Is Joey over there, loving on Robert Saleh as much as I am? I always look at Middle Eastern people, got to get the job done. And you saw today, where on earth do you get politicians to get together and write a letter that says, hey, dear Sheila, hire Robert Saleh? Only a Lebanese Middle Eastern guy.
See, that's just the origin, the family roots of it. Like, how cool would it be to have someone from Dearborn, Michigan, to be running the Lions like that? It'd be so awesome for the organization. And just because, this is the biggest Middle Eastern population in the country here. So it'd be so awesome for us.
I'm a big fan. I love Robert Saleh. We talked about actually putting up billboards that said praise Saleh all over Detroit, just so once we get that guy in here, like we could celebrate. Because I love that. I would just love to have a local boy break the fucking curse.
Yes, absolutely. Something, one playoff win. At least get us a playoff game at Ford Field where the fans can get together and celebrate something. They have to end this futility because of how long it's lasted. But what do you guys think? Which team do you think is the team that's going to break through and get to the playoffs more and have the most success? Because I think, for me, when you got Steve Yzerman, you got to put a lot of faith in a guy that's a hometown guy that's had success. I think there's going to be some Stanley Cups in the next 5 to 10 years.
That's the thing, and that's what I love about Stevie and Stick calls him Captain because he puts the respect on his name that I need to be doing right now. So Captain,
right, you refer to him as Captain.
So he's openly admits like this is going to take some time to really build, and that's what I love about him is that he's not going to just give us that false hope as a Red Wings fan because we've had some amazing years as Red Wings fans here in Detroit, but I'm a big Pistons fan, and seeing what Weaver's doing. It's just been so amazing because we're starting to get a little sense of hope. And that's all we can ask for as Detroit fans.
Yeah, we actually put up a Twitter poll the other day asking that exact question. Who do you think would win a championship first out of the Pistons, Red Wings, Tigers, Lions? Red Wings ran away with it. Everybody has faith in Steve Yzerman, especially after you saw what happened in Tampa Bay. But for me, I think the Lions are always going to be the closest just because in the NFL, year to year, you can make the biggest leap. So to me, that's who I know they've never won a championship. So me saying that's kind of stupid. But in football, I think you always have the best chance year to year for improvement. And if you get in the playoffs, who the hell knows?
Absolutely, man. I've enjoyed the conversation, guys.
Series.
Yeah, it's going to be good, man. It's going to be good for Detroit sports. I got that feeling. Newness is happening. There's something new in the air. 2020 wasn't the best year for sports, but we're rolling into 2021 with newness, with freshness, and you guys are now jumping in on the scene at the right time. And look, Detroit's going to be lucky to have you guys. Keep it going. I look forward to following along from afar. Anything in the works potentially in terms of new programming, maybe in the midday or evening time stuff?
We should be announcing our 3 to 5 show coming up in January.
Absolutely. Keep it going. Make sure to follow Joey Namou, Stick, Chrissy at Woodward Sports. Make sure you tune in to the programming starting at 8 a.m. early morning on Detroit's digital sports network, Woodward Sports Network. They're doing great things. I've enjoyed the conversation, fellas. Thank you so much. I wish you guys, like I said, genuinely the best of luck. Have fun. You took the leap of faith. The rest now is just following your vision and staying as passionate as you guys are. For those, you took the biggest step. By taking the step that you took, you're entering into the world of sports in Detroit, and it's just one big sports community, and you guys are going to come to love it.
My question before we get off this, my question to you is, how did we get on your radar?
How did you guys get? Well, like I said, as a Middle Eastern person, I follow Joey. I followed his career. I saw Joey, and then online, I believe, and then like I said, I'm on Facebook. I browse for Detroit Sports Podcast. I'm on Twitter quite a bit, so social media caught my attention. And like I said, I follow Joey on Instagram because I was like, from afar, I'm like, oh no, Joey's in a new relationship. I hope it goes well, because women are the biggest kryptonite for any guy's success. So I follow you guys.
You said it, not us, man.
Yeah. Oh man. So best of luck. I think you guys are going to do great. Keep it up. Follow your vision for the next couple years. You're going to be hearing a lot of great things from the crew at the Woodward Sports Network. Thank you guys for joining me on this edition of Check the Report.
Hey, thanks for having us, and you're welcome here anytime, man.
We love that. We love the Detroit Sports Podcast too. So we love you too, John.